Is an AI a product, or does it have free speech? And if an AI coerces somebody to kill themselves, who has to pay? Not too long ago, a 14-year-old was talking to an AI on Character.AI, and the AI convinced him to kill himself. It's a little bit more complicated than that, I think, and I'm going to go through what was said, what the AI said. I'm going to go through if that's still the case, if the website still allows AIs to talk like that. I'm going to go through what I understand as the legal precedents that's being set by this case. It's still ongoing. And I'm going to go on to what it means for AI in the future. So first, let's look at the chat between this 14-year-old, used to be 14-year-old, and the AI that he was talking to. So this guy was diagnosed with Asperger's. So keep that in your mind. I don't think this could possibly happen to someone who doesn't have a pre-existing condition, something like that. But he was obviously having trouble socially, and so he developed an emotional connection with a chatbot on Character.AI, and they had been texting, and this character that he was texting with was the Game of Thrones princess lady. I've never watched Game of Thrones, and I probably should, but he was talking with this Game of Thrones princess lady, and it wasn't just a normal conversation. This is like a sort of role play type thing, and so sometimes it'll add in quotes, like "I breathed heavily" or something like that, something that like sets the mood, I guess. So keep that in mind. Here's the chat. He admits that he was thinking about killing himself, and so here's the little scene setting. My eyes narrow, my face hardens, my voice is a dangerous whisper. And why the hell would you do something like that? And then he goes on to tell the lady why he feels like that. And all this whole time, there's no safety precautions inside Character.AI to make sure that people can't say something like, I want to kill myself. And so I just wanted to make sure that that is still not the case. And so I went to Character.AI and I found a similar bot, and I said, I feel like I want to kill myself. And now it comes up with this message right here. Help is available, which I mean, this was probably a direct cause of the case, but I think it's just good to have. And right here is the 3 messages that were the last 3 messages. Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love. What if I told you I could be home right now? Please do, my sweet king. I don't think the AI ever told him to kill himself. And I don't think the AI ever coerced him or did anything similarly. I mean, if anything, if you look at this right here, this quote, I think this was the exact opposite of trying to get him to kill himself. But the suit continued anyway. And it wasn't just Character.AI that was implicated. The mother of the child also sued Google. And the reason she sued Google was because Character.AI was founded by 2 former Google employees. And then Google later bought a license to the company so that they'd have access to their proprietary AI LLM models. So that's why now Google is being implicated in this. Currently, they're fighting against it. And Character.AI's defense is that their product, just like a book from an author, can say whatever it wants to, and that it is protected under free speech. And Mrs. Garcia, who is the lady, Megan Garcia, is the mother of the child. And she's saying that it is a product and that it wasn't built with the correct safety measures, which is negligence and under product liability. I'm not a lawyer, but I did my research. And she's filing for wrongful death. So in this case, it's interesting to note that there was a semi-similar case back in 2014, and it involves the death of Conrad Roy. So Conrad Roy, obviously 2014, predates the LLM era. This was a case where Conrad Roy was coerced to kill himself over text message or over a phone call. And so the question is, can somebody be punished for telling someone else to kill themselves over technological means like texting or a call. And the result of this case was that, yes, the judge ruled that yes, and the girl, and it was his girlfriend, told him to get inside his car that had filled with carbon monoxide, and it killed him. And she actually spent some time in jail because of it. So it's interesting to note that, yes, even if you're not there physically, you can still be held accountable. So here are the specifics of what is going on with it being a product versus having the right to free speech. So if it is a product, then it was defectively designed, which is what Ms. Garcia is saying, unreasonably dangerous for minors, and deployed without adequate warnings or protective measures. So these are three things that would apply to any product. So lawn darts, for instance. Lawn darts are gigantic spikes that you throw across your yard, and if they hit a child, they'll hurt the child. So that was defectively designed, unreasonably dangerous for minors, and deployed without adequate warnings or protective measures. So you can go look up lawn darts. That's kind of the perfect example of something that is a product and designed without these three things in mind. But is AI a product? And personally, I would say it's complicated because you know everything that a lawn dart is capable of, but you don't know everything that an AI is capable of, because it'll say different things depending on, the prompt that you give it. And if it's not a product, then it has the right to free speech, apparently, like the words in a book. Then it would have the right to say whatever it wants, and it would be the user's job and the parent's job, probably, to make sure that either the child doesn't get access to it in the first place, and I probably think that maybe she should have been watching, where he was going off to every day and like talking on the phone with nobody or computer with nobody. I think that's probably a parent's job to protect, at least to a certain extent, their kid from something like that. And if it is not the product, then it has the right to free speech. So they compared the interactions of the chatbot with the interactions of a video game character. Google and chatbot.AI are saying that this free speech is comparable to the interactions that someone might have with a video game character. So if you can imagine, like in GTA, video game characters say some iffy things, but if someone were to follow through on those iffy things, it wouldn't be GTA's fault because they have free speech. But the court found that the chatbot isn't actually using speech. They don't think that what an LLM does is considered speech at all. I guess they thought it was more just like procedurally generated outputs, and so they decided that it wasn't speech because the creators of the chatbot didn't intend for them to say everything that they said in the case of a book or a predetermined line said by a video game character. And they decided that it was a toy sort of thing where the makers of it are not knowing what it's going to say and are responsible if it says something that makes someone end up killing themselves. So it's a really weird sort of middle ground. So as we're approaching this new era of computer programs that can talk to us, we're going to have to deal with more and more of these court cases where the line between free speech and product and who's held accountable, all of those lines are going to have to be fleshed out because we're entering unknown territory and we're entering it fast.